Hi everyone, welcome back to Chef Shaw's Kitchen, and don't forget to subscribe. On today's menu, I'll be doing sweet potato pie, Chef Shaw's way. For my sweet potato pie, I have some sweet potatoes here. Almost a kilo of sweet potato. And I have some coconut milk. I have 2 tablespoons of vanilla, 4 eggs, a teaspoon of nutmeg, a pinch of salt, 4 tablespoons of unsalted butter, and I have a 1/4 cup of white sugar. So this is the coconut cream that I'm using. And these potatoes, I'm gonna bake them in the oven that they don't lose the flavor or the sweetness of the potatoes. So I'm just gonna stick a hole in the potatoes like this. And then we're gonna bake them for maybe about half an hour until they're soft, they're cooked. And then we're ready to mash them to make our sweet potato pie. These are my baked potatoes, and now they're cooled. So I'm just gonna remove the skin from the potatoes. And we're gonna just scrape off these bits, the darker bits. We're gonna put them in a bowl because we're gonna crush them and mix in all of our ingredients. So as I said before, it's the best way is to bake your potatoes. Get them in the oven instead of boiling them. Or you can even steam your potatoes. So I'm gonna use a hand mixer to mix my potatoes with my ingredients. And then I'm gonna show you how to make the crust for the sweet potato pie. So I'm just preparing this. And then I'm gonna put it one side, put it aside to rest for a while. I love the sweet potato pie. When my mom used to make this back in the days. We used to have this for supper sometimes. So I'm just gonna put my white. And I'm gonna crush my potatoes. And you can use like heavy cream instead of the coconut milk. You can use heavy cream. But today I choose to use the coconut cream. The coconut milk, I should say. And did you know you can put fruits also into your sweet potato pie? So I'm going to put my butter in and my sugar. Just going to mix this in. And if you want, you can melt your butter. Melt your butter before you add it to your sweet potato. Add in my coconut milk. I'm gonna start mixing. And I'm gonna add my eggs, well, one at a time. And I have my mixer on a slow mix, the lowest mix. Now I'm adding my vanilla, my nutmeg, and of course my salt. So now this is ready. I'm just gonna put this aside and I'm gonna start making my potato pie crust. For my sweet potato dough, I have 4 cups of self-rising flour, and I have 4 teaspoons of butter, and I have some cold water, ice cold water with some coloring, yellow food coloring, to give it a little yellow color. And it's a salted butter that I'm using. So I'm just gonna get this butter mixed into my flour before I start kneading the flour. And I'm just doing this by hand. You want to get your butter well mixed into your flour, that it start looking like breadcrumbs before you start kneading your flour. I'm adding my cold water with my yellow food coloring. And this won't be too yellow, just to give it a little shade. And when I'm through kneading this, I'm gonna roll it out on my worktop here with my rolling pin. And you don't want your dough to be too wet, too soft. So you have to be careful the amount of water you put in your flour. Now my dough is ready. for rolling, so I'm just gonna sprinkle a little flour, dry flour, onto my work top, so my work surface, so, and some on my rolling pin. So you have to make sure your worktop is clean. Wipe it, sanitize it, and then you wipe it again. So I'm just gonna roll my dough. And when you make your dough, you can let it freeze for an hour, or you can put it in the oven for maybe about 10 minutes to let it set a bit before you add your mixture in. So I'm just gonna roll this one, and I'm gonna put it in my pie tin, and I'm gonna let it freeze for an hour. You can even freeze it overnight, or just keep it in the freezer until you're ready to make your pie. I don't want my dough to be too thick, so I'm rolling. And you have to get the middle the same size as the edges. So I'm just gonna leave this and get my pie tin. I'm using a 9-inch pie tin for my filling and for this amount of dough. So I've just greased it a little bit. Just put a little oil, vegetable oil in it, not much, just to grease the bottom a bit. So yeah, I'm gonna put this in my pie tin. And while I'm lifting the dough, because the pie tin, the edges are sharp, so I don't want, when I'm just sticking it down, it start cutting into the dough. I'm just gonna cut it like this. And I'm just gonna freeze this for an hour. So after an hour, this is what it looks like. So you freeze your pie crust for an hour. And before I placed it in the freezer, I just poked some holes in it. Not right through, just on the top, because you want it to be level. You don't want no swelling. or bubbles. So I'm just gonna place my mixture now, my pie filling. Just so that get it level. This is so beautiful. So I'm just gonna shimmy it a little. I want it to be level. Lovely. So now I'm just gonna bake this 35 minutes to maybe 40 minutes in my oven, and my oven is preheated at 230 degrees Celsius. So I'm just gonna place this in the oven and let it bake. Here's my finished sweet potato pie. I'm just gonna remove it from the baking tin. And I'm gonna cut my sweet potato pie and I'm gonna serve it with a scoop of ice cream. I'm cutting into my sweet potato pie. Oh, this is lovely. So this is my sweet potato pie, and I'm having a slice with a scoop of ice cream, a scoop of cherry ice cream. I'm gonna have a taste of my sweet potato pie with my ice cream. This is lovely. I have to have another spoon. Really lovely. So when you try this at home, do it Chef Shaw's way. And don't forget to like, subscribe, click the notification bell and share. See you next week.